What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat! Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, an extension of the YouTube channel Dead Meat. I'm James.
I'm Chelsea, and we're boyfriend and girlfriend, and we like to get scared together.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a movie we both really liked this week. I think often we pick movies that it's easier for us to kind of rag on because they're a little silly, sometimes bad, but this one's just a really good one.
Yeah.
It's been requested a bunch. It's the movie Cam, which is a Netflix... And it's not a Netflix original. I think it was picked up by Netflix.
So Netflix distributed, not produced?
Correct.
Okay.
Kind of like Hush.
Okay.
Where they have the rights to it. And as such, there's no home release. So we're not going to have clips from this one. Sorry about that in advance.
Yeah, it's like when people request Netflix movies for the kill count. I don't have a way of doing that because like the way that we get clips is we buy the Blu-ray or the DVD. If a Blu-ray is not available, we rip it onto our computer and then we
always we own copies of whatever we're using to edit with.
Yeah, like I'm sure there are torrents of this movie out there, but we're not going to sit there and download a torrent. We're a business.
Yeah.
we can't do that. So Netflix, if you're watching, give me a way to cover your movies, please. I don't know, a digital download or something.
Yeah.
But we won't have clips for Cam. That's okay. Go watch it for yourself.
Yeah,
see all the clips for yourself. It's a fun one.
Very, very good. It came out 2017.
Oh, it did?
What's up?
Oh, I was just going to say it does involve sex workers.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Mature content.
Sure.
But I mean, you're watching a horror movie channel.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. It's fine. Oh, no, there's boobs in this.
Yeah.
And if you... Okay, so yeah, it's about sex workers, and if that maybe gives you some pause, because movies historically aren't great at handling sex work and their portrayal of sex workers.
Are cam girls sex workers?
Yes.
Is that...
Yes.
For 100%? Because like when I hear sex worker, I think of someone who has sex for money, but a cam girl isn't doing that. They're showing their body for money.
Sex worker.
Oh.
It's still... What are they exchanging, really? It's, you know...
But then would you call anyone who like is like a Playboy model a sex worker?
I think, yeah.
Huh.
I think you could. I think the term sex work, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But I think it's more broad than maybe people think it is.
Yeah, because I think escort, prostitute, etc.
Like a stripper is a sex worker.
Ah.
Like exotic dancer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty broad. I could be wrong. I really am not an expert. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a field of work that is unfairly maligned, and especially on film, which I don't think contributes to how sex workers are treated in general.
You mean you do think it contributes to how
I don't think it helps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this movie's very different. It was written by... I looked up the pronunciation of both these people's names, and I couldn't find anything.
The director, I think I could get. The writer is Issa Mazel?
Mazzei.
Oh, that's an I, yeah. Issa Mazzei, maybe?
Issa Mazzei. Yeah, she is a former sex worker... I think former cam girl, so this is written based on personal experiences.
Yeah, the movie's about a cam girl, just to be clear.
That's
She's
why
not
we're talking about
a
cam
prostitute or, she is a cam girl.
Yeah, directed by Daniel Goldhaber?
Yeah.
Or Haber? Goldhaber, I feel like is.
I knew a dude named Rob Haber growing up.
Sure.
I just assume you stick a gold in front of it.
So I think it helps a ton that this movie is written by someone who knows what they're talking about, and it makes for a way more interesting movie than I think we would have gotten if someone who had no experience doing this kind of work, if they'd tried, a draft of this screenplay. I don't think it'd be the same at all.
Yeah. Did Daniel Goldhaber co-write it with her? Did she have a co-writer?
I saw, so she wrote it, but there was story by, there was a few people, including the two of them.
Interesting.
Story by is, from my understanding, because I'm not a writer. I didn't really study writing in film school. I focused on directing, but from my understanding, story by is, so if I have an idea for a movie, and you write the script, you wrote it, but I get the story by credit.
Exactly.
Unless you help me come up with the idea.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little surprised that the story by is credited to her solely, and then No,
No,
you said
she
the
wrote it.
Yeah,
Story
so-
by was by a few people.
That's very interesting that the screenplay, she gets a sole screenwriting credit,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't, because like I'm assuming she doesn't have a background in screenwriting. Maybe she picked up a book and just read how to write a script.
I don't know.
I mean, anyone
I'm
can
actually
write.
not quite sure what her. I wish I looked at it now. I'm
But
not
that-
sure what her. It says her friend. Okay, so her friend is the director, Daniel Goldhaber. They've been friends since high school. He'd previously directed some of her pornographic videos, which I think is really neat. His directing credits had previously only been shorts and student films, so I'm wondering if maybe she also studied film or writing in some capacity too.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a solid script. I think the first 2/3 of it are. I mean, as far as screenwriting goes and structure of screenwriting, I think it's pretty solid. There are some good
Yeah.
callbacks and everything. I do have some issues with a little bit of the character's behavior, and then I think the resolution is a little unsatisfying, but we can get to it when we're there. But yeah, I don't think that's really a screenwriter. That's just like
No.
any screenwriter
And
can have
I
that
think
issue.
that this screenplay is a lot better than someone who like read a book about screenwriting.
Yeah,
and
that's
did
that's
it.
definitely true.
Yeah, like this,
so-
I could not write. I'm not much of a writer.
It's like the structure and beats are like way more.
Yeah, this
than
is
just-
someone who has like they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
For sure. So it's about a cam girl. We're gonna spoil the whole movie, obviously. I say this just because it's a newer movie. Maybe people think we won't spoil as much, but whenever
No,
we
we're
talk
gonna-
about movies, we go through the whole thing. So
yeah. So stop this and go watch it if you want. Check it out. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. It's got a pretty cool little mystery element to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like we watched this shortly after or back to back with
Mm-hmm.
Searching, and Searching is great. Not horror enough for us to cover here, even though we
No,
wanted
I
to. It's an
want to.
amazing thriller, but it kind of reminded me not only just because it had like that cyber element to it, but there's like a little bit of a mystery there.
yeah, for sure. So this is about a cam girl named. We're gonna call her Lola because that's her screen name, and
yeah,
I
that's
think
her like cam girl name.
yeah. So her real name's Alice. Her screen name is Lola. Let's keep it simple and call her Lola.
Okay.
Because I think that's what she uses more in the movie. Just, so people don't get confused.
Yeah.
So she, we start and she's in this room. And by the way, the use of color in this movie is so fucking cool and
real good.
We start the movie and we're in this pink, it's like a hot pink room. All the lights in it are pink. It's just super saturated color, which I always love because I think that's a big problem with movies that come out now is we're afraid of color.
That's why Mandy was so cool.
That's why Mandy kicked ass. When you watch
well,
movies,
that and the fucking chainsaw fight.
yeah, I mean that and everything about it. I'm
Yeah.
fucking obsessed with Mandy. It's so good. God damn. Yeah, when you watch movies like this or Mandy, you just realize, oh my God, movies don't use color anymore. If you go back watching
Suspiria,
the old, like the original Suspiria, I think it's sad I think maybe there's this idea that color is frivolous and not as serious, and it's not, because there's the whole joke about like dark, gritty superhero movies, but I think that's a little bit to blame for the current like color grading of everything where it's just super desaturated because it's this idea that less color equals more serious,
Yeah.
and a movie you should take more seriously.
Although I would still take today's gritty desaturation over the early 2000s blue and orange, everything blue
Everything
and orange.
was blue and orange.
God, that was awful.
Yeah, Soderbergh. But yeah, so this cam girl Lola she's dancing for tips for her chat room. So it's a site that's like it's like if you are torrenting something, you will get pop-ups
Yeah,
for
for
this
sure.
kind of website where it's a cam girl who wants to talk to you.
Yeah, and she has a room, and they're like, you get token tips.
Yes.
And the token tips are accompanied by a sound effect, and so it becomes a very like, I don't know, there's like a primal kind of like reward system.
dopamine thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like bling, bling, there's a lot of these sound effects throughout this movie.
I love it. It's
And all
effective.
the emojis that the people in her chat use, which are ridiculous. There's like my favorite is the smiley face penis that grows so big it pops.
Yeah.
And like there were like a bunch of them in a row. And yeah,
all very 1.0 emoji GIF type things.
yeah. Like fucking with a easy boards. Was that the message board system?
I don't know.
Oh man, there was some kind of like forums that you could like make your own, and you could have your own emojis and shit in there. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, it's like Angel Fire. Everyone in the chat is typing and requesting "Come show time."
Come show time.
So I'm guessing that's what it sounds like it is, but I like that's got a name.
Yeah,
Come show
she's
time.
wearing she's like wearing underwear and a open like vest kind of thing.
It's a varsity jacket, like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, and there is some double-sided tape doing a lot of work in this opening scene because it goes on for so long that I'm like, is this movie going to go on and we're just not going to see her boobs at all?
Yeah.
That's not true. You see her boobs a lot.
You see your boobs. Very, it's weird. Like, it is amazing how when a movie is written by a woman, and you can always tell when an actor is comfortable with their nudity on screen.
Yeah, because it feels very just plain. It feels kind of like desexualized.
It's not like, yeah, for a movie about sex workers and about cam girls, it's some of the least sexual nudity I've ever seen in a movie, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it's really
it feels very normal to be seeing people naked, and it's not titillating nudity. It just feels very like matter of fact.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. Like
there's a lot
of nudity, but yeah, it never feels like
there's never that pang of embarrassment, you know.
And I guess there's never like the panning up the body close up. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm
our
making
boobs are out.
This is part of the job.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think some of that definitely has to do with this being written by a woman and having it be directed by someone who she's really close friends with and has an understanding of that.
Did we mention who plays Lola?
No, we did not.
It's Madeline Brewer, who was in Orange is the New Black the first season. She had the dreads.
Yeah.
And
she owed.
Spoiler alert, she OD'd. And it's the first season. They're on like, what, season 12? Yeah. And then, as with all characters who die in Orange is the New Black, she shows up in Handmaid's Tale. I think there's an internet theory that Handmaid's Tale is like the afterlife for all the Orange is the New Black characters who die. They all show up in there. Great.
That's because they're actors.
And they're Netflix properties.
And yeah.
Or no, Hulu is Handmaid's Tale.
Hulu's right? Handmaid's Tale, but still, they're good TV actors who are out of work now because they got killed off. Where else are they gonna go? You could do the same thing with Game of Thrones and
The Office.
Yeah, the British
Office
office for sure, or The Hobbit. Yeah, come on, guys. They're all actors.
But yeah, I didn't follow Handmaid's Tale too closely,
no, man,
so I don't remember
thought it was
who she was. It's pretty depressing.
It's too
but,
fucking depressing.
Yeah, she's in those shows.
She's the one. No, she's in the first season. She's the girl who loses an eye.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's got that creepy smile.
Yeah, she acts out and gets punished for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's really great.
It's cool because in those shows she kind of she's like really character acting. I think in those two, she's playing like a very character type person, and in this one she's very normal and very likable.
Her character is instantly, you like her. She is funny and she's like adorable, and you can tell that she likes what she does.
She does. She takes pride in it, and she's ambitious in it because there's a little leaderboard for all you gamers out there. Just think of it just like that. And she's like she's in the 60s, I think, when the movie starts, and her goal is to climb up that leaderboard.
Yeah, she wants to get into the top 50 cam girls on this website.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing in the universe of this movie is the cam site.
Yeah, was it FGL?
Free Girls Live.
Free Girls Live.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's got a giant trunk of sex toys that she gets out because I guess it's come show time. And it looks literally like, and I've been playing Breath of the Wild, but it looks like one of the treasure chests that you get in that game.
Kicks open. Yeah.
It looks literally like that. It's like a video game box. So she opens it and there's a bunch of sex toys in there. And they all have little weird names and stuff. And so people are tipping her certain amounts to use certain toys. So it's like 50 tokens for this one, 100 tokens for this one, like 500 for the gigantic one. But then someone comes in the chat and tips a large amount of money and says, how much for you to use a knife? And then she blocks them and ignores it. But then the person comes back and says, "Hi, Lola. Don't ignore me. I asked you a question." Are you getting flashbacks to your streams?
Yeah, man. I don't know
Don't
why they
ignore
don't.
me, James. Don't ignore me.
I don't know why we don't have the option to fucking IP ban people. They're just gonna make a new name and come back and yell racial shit. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Come on, YouTube
They come
and
back.
FGL.
They come back a third time. Don't mock me. You're a worthless whore. At least it was nice to see all of her subs on, because you get close-ups of the chat room and all of her subs are like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They're all defending her. I do think it's nice that for the most part, her subs and her audience feels very chill. You get some weirdos, we'll get there, but
of course.
everyone's like, hey, come on, like, don't be weird. Like, don't be an asshole. We're all here to have fun. So like someone just says, WTF is wrong with this room? That flies by really quick, but it made me laugh. So she reaches into her giant trunk and pulls out a huge knife and says, okay, how much for me to do it? Like, I'll do it. I'll slit my throat. And so she gets a ton of tokens. And I think is that when she gets the top 50? No, that's later, right?
I don't remember. No, I don't think she's top 50 just
She's
yet.
not, okay.
Yeah.
So she gets a bunch of fucking tokens and then she slits her throat and there's blood everywhere and she's sitting there slumped over and she sits there for a while. So at first I thought, is this the main character of the movie?
Yeah, I was like,
Are we
oh,
gonna
was this a
switch?
cold open?
Yeah.
Like,
But it's not. She sits back up and she rips off the prosthetic and it was fake and yeah. And then she logs out. She's got a very cute kitty cat. Yeah. And Lucy's on the table now. Say hi, Lucy.
yeah, so she goes into her bathroom with her laptop and she's talking to a dude named Tinker Boy.
Tinker Boy.
Yeah, so she's having like a private video chat with him, and apparently he was the dude telling her to use the knife. He's her accomplice, I guess.
Yeah, he's one of her clients who we kind of get the gist that he pays extra to have private chats with her.
Yeah.
And so they're at a point now where he does stuff for her like this, where he makes fake accounts to come in and be weird so that she can have the setup to do the knife thing.
Yeah, and with this movie, you really got to pay attention to the dialogue because, you know, you miss a line and you'll not understand exactly what's going on, because here they're talking about how she's saying that she caught a whale, a guy named Barnacle Bob.
Yeah.
Not Barnacle Boy.
Not
from
Barnacle
SpongeBob.
Boy. I wasn't
No, he's
sure.
not logging on to FGL with Mermaid Man.
Oh, no.
How much? No, I don't know. I don't know Mermaid Man's voice.
Wait.
That turned into Loomis, kind of.
Yeah, it did. She's on the phone with Tinker. They're video chatting, and specifically, they're chatting through the site. They always communicate through FGL. That's
But yeah,
important
she
to
mentions
know.
that she caught a whale, which, you know, put two and two together. It's a person who will tip her a lot.
Yeah,
and
sugar
Tinkerboy.
daddy.
Yeah, Tinkerboy mentions, like, are you sure you want it? Like, you want Barnacle Bob? Because you kind of stole him from Princess X. She's going to get mad. And, like, that's setting it up for later down the line. But right now, Barnacle Bob is calling her.
Yeah.
And since he's the sugar daddy, she's like,
she hangs up on Tinker.
sorry, Tink, I got to go.
I'm busy.
And she answers it for Barnacle Bob, who
she calls Barney. We can just call him Barney.
Sure, we can just Barney. Yeah. And Tinker Boy, he kind of reminds me of Gale from Breaking Bad in his appearance.
Gale.
Wasn't it Gale, the guy who like was the super nice dude who Jesse at the end of the season did a full measure on?
Yes.
Right?
The one with the music video?
The one with the music video, yeah.
Fuck, what's that song?
Fuck.
Major
Dun, 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 dun,
But I forget what that song's actually called.
Yeah, but Tinker Boy kind of looks like him. Right?
Yeah, they have similar vibes.
Yeah.
Just a sad dude.
He's a little
Just
sad,
a
but like smiling, like with a little smile on his face. But like, you know that he's.
But ladies, you've met this dude where he looks like he is nice. He seems like he's friendly, but something's weird, man. And he sets off those flags.
I would say Tinker's biggest thing is he's pathetic.
He's very sad.
Yes. Yeah. Barney, on the other hand, is like, so he's like a bigger, a little bit older guy, like bald, like shaved head.
Someone
and like,
who, if he lived in your neighborhood, there'd be rumors that he had mob ties.
Yeah, he seems like a kind of mobster
He seems
dude.
like a
Yeah.
mob guy, or if he's not, then he loves Goodfellas and has seen it a million times.
If he's not, he wants to be.
Yeah. And that's not an insult. I've seen Goodfellas a million times.
Sure, and
Fucking love that movie.
so she has a little private chat with Barney instead and gets some of his tokens, and that's kind of like setting us up. Mm-hmm. Now we kind of understand.
We're getting the politics of cam girl world.
Yeah, and we get him more when she talks to a friend. Her friend
Foxy.
Yeah, another cam girl, and it's during this conversation that we get Lola's rules. She has 3 rules for her stuff.
Yes.
No public shows, which I think means just like her shows are private rooms.
You have to pay to watch them
Yeah.
or have a lot. Yeah, they're not just out on the internet.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what I think that means.
And then the other 2 that I really like. She never fakes her orgasms, which is great. Don't set up that expectations for people. And she never tells the people in her room that she loves them.
Yeah.
Which is also great.
Yeah.
Cool. Establish those
Good
boundaries.
for her. Good for her.
Good for her.
So we leave her cam girl life in a scene where we visit her mom. She's like getting her hair done by her mom, and her mom owns a salon.
And also, we should say that I think we get a shot of her house before that. Like,
Oh yeah,
dude, she's like in a 2-story big ass
yeah.
fucking
She doesn't
house.
live with her mom or
No, she
family.
lives
or anything.
by
She lives by
herself.
herself, and we learn that she's just moved in because there's boxes everywhere. She bought a nice ass house.
She's renting it. Her mom said
She's
'Cause-
renting it, and that is she bought it.
Did she buy it? I thought her
Yes.
mom was like, I told her to buy it because that would make more financial sense.
Because she was renting it, and then she went and bought it.
Oh, okay. So that was the
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I believe so.
I don't
It's
know
a
what
really nice
state
house.
she's in. I don't know if they ever say.
Even so, it's really nice.
It's a real nice
kind
house.
of it's like a craftsman kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little California looking, which makes me think money because houses in California are so expensive.
Yeah.
But she's doing well for herself, and
Yeah,
she's
for
proud
sure.
of it. Her brother apparently knows that this is her job.
Yeah, he's about 17.
Yeah,
That's his
he's like-
birthday's coming up.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think it's a 17-year birthday.
Yeah, so we see her mom in the salon. And by the way, I think it's cool that the lighting in the salon is lit like just a normal movie. It's like daylight. There's no color, honestly, no color choices at all. Everything's very neutral palettes in this scene, which I think is neat. Just the contrast between her cam life, which in every scene during her cam girl life, every room is like one color. There's like a pink, like it's either pink or blue. There's not a bunch of colors, but this is all like muted colors, lots of different colors, but they're all very beigey, which I like a lot.
Yeah, and so her mom's just a hairdresser. I shouldn't say just a hairdresser. Her mom's a hairdresser. And,
Laura Walters, who is a Paul Thomas Anderson alumni. That's probably why she seemed familiar.
Yeah, she seems very familiar.
She's in Boogie Nights and Magnolia. Yep. But she's styling her hair. She reminds me so much of the mom in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh.
Kirsten Dunst's mom. I can't remember her name, the actress. I should know her name, but I am having a brain fart. So she's texting her clients while her mom's not looking. Her mom like goes to the back and she's
Her mom
looking.
does not know.
Her
she's
mom
a
does
cam girl.
does not know this is her job.
But her brother does.
Her brother, played by Devin Druid, who's in 13 Reasons Why. I've never seen that show. I don't plan on it, but maybe some of you have seen it. And I thought I should point it out because I'm sure people would get mad at it. But yeah, he knows about this and is really cool about it.
Yeah, because I think she moved up like a bunch of ranks in that show, the throat slitty one, like up to 53, I think.
Yeah.
And so she tells him, and he's like, "Oh, good job."
Yeah, he's really proud of her, and which I think is a really cool. I like the brother character a lot because I think he's more complicated of a character than you get at first glance because he's someone who, in his private life, is really supportive of her and doesn't find her work shameful. And it's only later when we get some like outside forces that he is weird about it. And I think it's like kind of a sad B plot, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's really proud of his sister and individually he's like, no, I don't see the issue with this. And he's not ashamed of her and he doesn't think she's gross or making bad life choices. She's clearly taking care of herself. But when other people come into the equation and kind of shame him into thinking it's embarrassing, then
Yeah.
that sucks. Yeah. So he's sweet. He's a good brother.
Jordan is his name.
Jordan. Okay. So yeah, she's getting texts from, I think, Barney, who's sending her dick pics. Is gross. Not even dick pics. It's like dick in underwear pic.
Oh yeah,
it's gross.
Can't show the dick.
No, you're not showing dicks in this movie. So Lola, this is why I wanted to keep it one name. Lola runs into her friend at a store because, it's her brother's birthday, so she's got to go get stuff for it. She runs to her friend. And
like a high school friend.
So they haven't seen each other in a while. She invites her to her brother's birthday. And while she's doing that, she looks over and sees Tinker in another aisle.
Yeah, Tinker Boy's there.
And it's really creepy. It's like the creepiest moment because this is a nightmare. I think any person who does any kind of content creation whatsoever kind of has.
Of someone like stalking them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the YouTuber who she and her husband
someone broke into their house? I don't remember. I have legitimate nightmares about that though.
Yeah.
And we know people who have had stalkers and it's so scary. So this moment, which I knew was coming, it had to. But as soon as I saw him looking at her from over shelves, my stomach just dropped. It's so creepy.
Yeah. And she just gets out of there.
Yeah, she gets the fuck out of there. We learn that the #1 cam girl on Free Girls Live is named Baby.
Yeah, she's like the PewDiePie
She's
of cam girls.
She's the PewDiePie of cam girls.
Because they're talking about how she's on another level.
Yeah, she doesn't even register rank.
Yeah.
She's so far on top. She's #1, but #2 is just so far beneath that it doesn't fucking matter. And we get a montage, and I love this little scene, this little slice of life, because this felt so real to me. The woman who wrote this has done this, where we see Lola clicking through different channels and just taking notes. And
yeah,
she's like, I'm studying. I think she gets interrupted and she's like, what? I'm studying. And she has books and stuff. But we get a montage of really great. And this is when I wish I could put clips in because there's just...
You'd have to censor them all.
I would, but there's such funny clips of all these weird live stream channels where it's a lady masturbating and reading Proust. Or I wrote Glitter Boob Lady is glorious, and she is. She's a
blue paint.
Yeah,
everywhere.
she's a larger lady who is, I think, blonde. She's very mermaid looking. And she has blue glitter everywhere to the point where it looks like she's wearing a bodysuit, but she's dumping more glitter on herself and just all of her shapes. And it just was really pleasing to look at. I really like Glitter Boob Lady.
Yeah.
I would watch her stream.
And yeah, Lolo's whole thing is that she wants to elevate her art form because the throat slit.
This is what I love so much about Lola. Is she's this is a fucking art. And when she's going through all these channels, it's it is all these other channels each have their own little flavor and
their own
style,
approach,
and they're putting effort in. They're not just, there's nothing wrong if you just want to get your tits out and not do much more than that. Great, get that coin. But I think it's so cool that Lola she wants to make it a show. That's why she did the throat slit thing. That's a prosthetic that takes hours to apply. That takes hours of setup and dealing with a client of yours to make bonus accounts and time that right and do it. It's great. And I feel like that rings so true again to this person's real life where they took pride in this work,
Yeah. And so she gets word that Barney's coming to town. And she makes some soft plans to meet up with him because I guess it sounds as though that's an occasional thing.
Yes.
To meet up with your big fans. So I guess that's more what I would normally think of as sex work, assuming something goes in which probably that's what's happening there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she does another show, right?
Yes, this is when she's getting so close to that top 50. So this is a special show. And by the way, I have a note here that I love that we discussed this a little bit already, but I just want to reiterate that her life in this movie is never sad. It's never shown as depressing.
It's not like a Requiem for a Dream type
no,
thing,
this is not ass to ass. This is the complete opposite of the end of Requiem for a Dream.
Mouth to mouth.
yeah, you never feel like she didn't have other options.
Yeah, that she chose this.
This is
and
what
it
she
got her
wants
this house,
to do, and I think
she's,
that's so rare to see in film, and I think it's really neat. But yeah, like the movie's never a question of, was this like her, the movie's question is she gonna stop doing like sex work? Is she gonna stop being a cam girl? Like, is this, I just feel like it's a fact of this movie. Like, this is the world we're in for this movie. And it's not about whether or not sex work is bad. Do you know what I mean?
It's not.
It's hard without spoiling later stuff to make my point, I'm realizing.
Yeah, when the horror stuff starts, it's something that's just happening to her that has to do with this position. It's not blaming her or saying this wouldn't have happened had you not
do sex work.
Yeah, you should get a regular job.
But also, and being a little vague, because we're going to get to this, the things that happened to her aren't a result of sex work specifically. These are things that can happen to anyone online.
Sure.
I think it's a fear of the internet in general and of being a public persona in general. I don't think any of the horror in this specifically has to do with, oh no, she made the choice to be a sex worker. It's just the things that happen to her, I think, are fears of anyone who spends any amount of time online or has at least their face online.
I mean, literally I just released the unfriended dark web kill count, so this is very in tune with that.
Yeah,
just of like the horrors of the internet of
for
like
sure.
what can happen to you.
For sure. So like this movie could have been about a YouTuber.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't. I mean, it changes things obviously, but it's not. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Of course.
I'm just rambling. I like this movie a lot. So okay, she's doing another stream and she's about to break the top 50. Yeah, and she does it. It happens pretty quickly. Glitter shower. She has the glitter shower plan. I think she pulls a string and there's glitter. And then, not even 10 seconds later, maybe she goes back to 51.
Yeah.
She starts losing rank.
People start leaving her room.
She's like, well, what the fuck? Because it happens so fast.
And people are like, yo, Princess X is getting naked. I thought she was non-nude. Tonight only, she's getting naked.
Yeah.
And so, like we said earlier, Princess X is who Barney had previously been a whale for.
Yeah.
And so I guess she's pissed that Lola poached Barney, as they say.
Yeah.
And so Lola checks in on Princess X's channel, and yeah, Princess is...
This was so mean.
Yeah.
It's funny because from the POV of the main character, I'm like, this bitch, how dare. But then when I think of being Princess X, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Do it. So what she's doing is so Princess X never gets nude, and that's an important factor of the Sabotage. She never ever shows anything. But tonight only, she says, for every spot that Lola loses, for every rank that she goes down, I'll take off a piece of clothing. So she knocks her down to like 60
from 50
something.
to 59, and that's when Lola just logs off. She's like, okay, thanks everyone, we made top 50, bye.
Yeah.
And logs off, and Princess is like, oh, only 9, 10 would have gotten me naked.
That's right, yeah. We don't get to see her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard because I see, I mean, it's a mean thing. It's a terrible, mean thing to do. But man, if someone took my big money, and that's a hard thing to find, I'd be so pissed.
Hey, she lost it. He
I
said
know,
that she wasn't.
it's true. I mean, again, this is the trap we fall into. It's not the other girl's fault. It's fucking Barney's fault. Get mad at Barney for just changing his mind.
So
yeah,
then Tinker calls her on her real phone number.
Yes, Tinker, who again was her client from earlier, the kind of sad dude.
Yeah, Gail.
He calls her on her actual phone, which I don't know how he got her actual number.
I don't know. Maybe she says he was only supposed to use it for emergencies.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know.
I wonder if I kind of wonder if that was like a hint at. I wonder if Tinker is someone who maybe has had like scares in the past. Like maybe he's someone where he has formed this relationship with her where he's told her that maybe he feels suicidal or has like scary thoughts, and maybe it's like, okay, call me in case of emergency so that if I can like get someone. and maybe she felt comfortable enough doing that.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's a hint at what's going on
That's
there.
possible. Yeah, but basically, during that phone call, she finds out that he moved there.
He's moved there now,
It's
and
a happy
just
coincidence.
a coincidence. It's just a coincidence.
You got work
Lola.
around there.
Yeah, I got work. Yeah, work.
Now that she's dropped in position on this site, she calls back her friend Fox and is like, "Okay, let's go to this Camgirl Clubhouse."
And are there places? It reminded me of YouTube Space.
Oh God, this is like the YouTube space of Cam Girls.
YouTube Space, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because YouTube Space, which is near us, is like YouTube's big building that has a bunch of different rooms you can shoot in.
There's
and
a few
edit
of them
there.
around the globe at this point, but yeah, YouTube Space. If you have a certain amount of subscribers, you can apply to make stuff at YouTube Space, and so you can get an allotted amount of time to film in their studios. It's great. We filmed there before.
Yeah.
Like a ways back.
With
But
practical
this is what
folks.
this reminds me of. Is it's like a house that if you, I don't know. I wonder if they share revenue or something if you film there.
Probably.
You know. Yeah. Go ahead.
So her and Fox are going to do a joint show at the Cam Girl Clubhouse.
Yeah. And they're
to get her rank back up, and to do it, she's going to ride the Vibatron.
the Vibatron, aka the Sibian.
The Sibian.
More commonly,
okay.
I feel like Sibian is a brand name issue. They can't say Sibian.
Sure, but it's basically a vibrating saddle that you sit on.
It's like sitting on a it's a saddle.
Yeah,
that you sit on.
and Fox and Princess X is also at the clubhouse when they go. They're both like warning her, like, "Hey, careful! People have like lost sensation from using it too much, but like she's got to get her rank back up." So we get this great scene where
my God.
they're doing the show, and like Lola's riding the Vibatron while Fox is controlling it, and the people's donations are controlling like how much it is.
There's another girl named Lucky Duck who comes in and she's standing behind the camera, so she's off screen. She has two menus and she's silently mouthing like, "Which one do you want? Do you
Like
want
pizza
or sushi?"
Yeah,
And it was
it's
just the
so
most real
funny.
shit. Like it just, I love so much that this movie. That is such a normal seeming moment to me.
Yeah, it's like a movie set. It's
It's like
funny.
any movie set. People who've worked in the industry, quote unquote, in film or TV or whatever, will tell you it's not glamorous. And that's exactly what that. I think it was a similar glimpse into like being a sex worker. Cam girl is not always sexy. It's like it's a show behind the scenes. Like we need to order pizza. Like we have a per diem. What do you want? I just love those little hints of normalcy to just remind us that these are normal ass people that need to eat food.
Yeah. And the show gets her back up to 47.
Yay! And
Awesome.
it seems like the Vibatron is like getting to be too much or something. She's kind of like going in and out of
Oh, yeah.
consciousness.
It was a little weird, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say up until this point, just gonna point out, screenplay is great because like she gets Barney. There's the like, isn't this gonna come back and bite you in the ass? It does. She has to do this show, and apparently this. Do you think her going there and doing that show there leads to what happens next? Because she suspects it, but we never really get
Wasn't sure.
any.
I don't think so because I
Okay.
can't think of any reason it would. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the next morning she wakes up and
She's back in her house.
Yeah.
Which I was confused about at first. I thought she spent the night at.
the clubhouse.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you stay at the clubhouse. She wakes up. Yeah, she's back at home. She wakes up in the morning and she's live
Yeah.
on the site
Yeah.
on FGL.
And so she's looking at it and the stream, she thinks, is this an old show?
Yeah, because she's
It's
seeing
her. It's
Yeah.
her. It's her room. It's the pink curtain. Like it's all the same setup. And
Like she can't log into her account.
she
The
can't get into her
password says
account,
it's
but she's
wrong.
getting a notification that she is live. So she goes and looks back at her calendar of past shows Just
Oh, I
see-
also love that she keeps a calendar of her shows.
Oh my god! I
what
just
she
thought
did
of
during
your
the show
calendar.
and fucking like what rank she did. Hell yeah, Lola, I'm with you.
You know how much work Lola does.
Hell yeah. I was like, oh, cool. She's the me of cam girls.
Yeah. Oh my god. So she's looking. I think she's done something similar with like the version of her that's streaming now that she's watching is like in a pool. So she's like, oh, I did this.
It's like a kiddie
before.
pool.
Yeah, it's a little kiddie pool.
So are they
she's-
like replaying an old
Yeah,
show?
like is it just a glitch? They're replaying an old stream. And so we're at this point, us watching the movie, we're like, what the fuck's happening? And I thought it was maybe just an old stream or something. But then she types into the chat something. I think she just says hi. She makes a fake ID username. and says-
Teapot?
Yeah, like Mr. Teapot or something. And then her on screen goes, oh, hi, Teapot. What the fuck? What the
dude?
fuck? It's such a good, that moment's so good.
Yeah, it's real creepy.
This is a good, like, just gear shift for the script. I think it comes at, like, the perfect point, too.
Yeah.
It's so creepy and so good.
And so she calls customer support and they say they can't do anything. There's a great moment when she's talking to the dude and she's like, I think you're like playing an old thing of mine. He's like, well, we can't do that. And then she has the teapot thing and she's like, well, here, pull up my screen. He's like, yeah, I'm looking at it. And she's like, okay, is she on the phone?
That's right. And then the guy's like, I'm going to transfer you to another level of customer service. Yeah. So what the fuck? She shows it to some of her other cam girlfriends. I think it's Foxy
Fox
and
and
Lucky
Lucky,
Duck.
yeah.
And she proves it's not live by making a donation by asking the fake her to say orange, and she does. So
Yeah,
they're
the
like,
faker's like,
oh, this
"Orange,
shit's
orange."
fucked as soon as that happens.
Yeah, and so she like at first thinks maybe Princess is behind it, but that doesn't really make sense. Like, what'd she do? Hire a lookalike? Like what? Yeah.
To be fair, if I'm her, that's my first guess too. I'm like, all right, who has an out for me? Princess. But this is you think about it a little bit more, and this is some really sophisticated shit. Like, what the fuck? I made a typo here on my notes. I'm realizing Barney does not show up at the hair salon. It is Tinker. Tinker shows up at this scene is
Oh god, yeah, because she goes to her mom's hair salon again, and because she's planning for the brother's birthday.
birthday, yeah.
Because that's that day, I think, or yeah. And Tinker shows up with some flowers and is like, "You told me to."
Oh my god. And she he says, we were talking last night, you told me to. So clearly he's been talking to this fake her. And so he shows up at the salon. It's the worst scene. It's so scary. It is so scary, this whole moment. And nothing happens. It's fine. It doesn't end with anything.
Yeah, she just kind of like
Scary,
tells
but
him to leave.
This moment is scary. It's a moment I think most women can relate to of like, oh fuck, just having to say no in that moment and not having it be a thing. Because remember, this is at her mom's work, so everyone is just staring at them.
Yeah, they're like, "Who's this?"
And
older
this guy
dude?
is like, I had such a wonderful time last night, and he's being real weird about it. And then she pretends she just didn't know him and that I guess it was just some dude, and doesn't explain further. Oh, it's so creepy. And like, I guess I want to pause really quickly and say, I totally understand if maybe you're listening to us and thinking like, well, he's not a bad guy and he meant well, he's just awkward.
Yeah,
And
I'd say for the most part,
yeah,
that's true.
I think absolutely for the most part that's true. But like in the other person's shoes, if you're in her shoes,
You don't know that.
you don't know who this dude is. You call him Tinker. That's his screen name. You don't really know him. And you don't know what's going on in his head. And he says he was talking to you last night, but he wasn't. That is so scary. And even just in general, if you don't really know what a guy...
Yeah, he could just be
is-
socially awkward, or he could, and it's not saying you should just judge all guys as like, but you gotta be a little guarded if you're...
It's a defense mechanism for sure. And it's not personal. I want to reiterate, this instant fear is not personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dirty dance that is danced when you're trying to court someone?
Sure.
Just communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And don't hunt down the girl who you talk to online and move.
Oh yeah, I
town.
moved to her town without saying so first.
Yeah, maybe talk to her first.
Hey, that's weird. Don't do that.
It's her brother's birthday time.
Yes.
But all the while she's checking in on this fake her who's now doing like a show in a public library, and it's like flashing.
And I think it's a public show. Like anyone can just fucking watch it. So yeah, fake her is in a public library somewhere. We cut to her brother's friends are all watching this live stream of fake her. It's not even her.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be watching it otherwise because real her doesn't do public shows like this. But it's fake her, so these dudes can all get a hold of it.
Yeah, these teenagers who wouldn't otherwise have like accounts, which I'm sure you need a credit card for. Yeah. But she walks into the birthday party and then they're like laughing at her, which like that sucks.
Oh man. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the brother is oh man, fuck this kid that
this
does
fucking
this.
Kid, dude.
So they're all in the dining room and they're getting cake ready, and one of the friends and the brother just kind of bursting because they're like wrestling with each other. The brother's trying to get the phone out of this kid's hand, and they're like, oh my god, like everyone's like, what the fuck? It's like, split it up, what the fuck's going on? And this kid is like, your sister's a porn star, dude, and is playing it on his phone so everyone can hear the stream. Fuck this kid.
Notable on the stream, you hear her orgasming, and you can assume it's a fake one, and her saying like, I love all you guys. Like she's breaking all her rules. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so this fucking brother's friend. What a fucking asshole.
Ugh.
So now her mom knows because her mom's there, and she sees it. She takes the phone and sees it.
Yeah.
Awkward.
And so, of course, yeah, it's super awkward now. We all kind of just stand there. I mean, again, it's a whole birthday party, just standing there listening to like her moaning and fake orgasming. And so finally they turn it off, and the mom is just like in shock. And it's super awkward. And she's like, you know what? Okay, we're all gonna have cake, and that's the end of that. Like we're just gonna pretend it never happened. Man, fuck that kid. I'm so mad at him.
Fuck that kid, dude.
Fuck that kid. And this is when like I said with the brother, is like now he has to be ashamed, and now he has to be embarrassed by what his sister does because other people gotta fucking ruin the party, you know?
Yeah.
Because these other dudes have to make it a point of shame. Like, your sister's a porn star. Now it's an insult. Where before, without that kind of external influence, the brother was like totally cool about it. But like now he's not gonna be because people suck. And it's just a sad little like side plot of this movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So back at home, she's watching her doppelganger do her show. She's up to spot 31, so she's moving up the ranks. And she's even doing the same kind of like suicide-y thing, this time with a gun.
Yeah.
And she like...
Well, what happens is Lola starts tipping her because she's just watching this fake her and just stewing in anger. So she tips her to hit herself. And then she tips her again, like just harder. And again is like, you're not doing it hard enough. Like, flog yourself. Like, I want you to hurt yourself. And then finally, that's when fake her is like, all right, how about this? And she pulls a gun out of the little treasure chest. And she says, she's like, this many tokens and I'll lick it. This many tokens and I'll suck it. 50,000, I'll load it. Which she does. This is such a great scene. We were on the edge of the couch. Like, it's really, really effective. It's so creepy. 100,000 tokens to make it explode. And then she fucking shoots herself in the head. She sticks this gun in her mouth and just shoots herself, and there's blood coming out of the back of her head, and she slumps over. And we just look at this dead body on a stream laying there for a bit. And then she sits up and is like, we did it!
Yeah, because that puts her at
Top 20.
Top 20. She moves into the top 20. And
she
she's
basically
all happy.
it's like the suicide with the knife bit, but just extreme. And yes, gets her into the top 20.
Yeah, so that sucks. Lola's getting pretty pissed by now. She calls the cops, and it's just this one scene with the cops, but I feel like it's probably informed by some real-life interactions.
Confirmed.
The screenwriter...
Confirmed it was.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Because, yeah, the cops come over, and she's like, look, this person stole my identity. Here it is. And they don't understand. One of them leaves on, like, he's like, I got to go take another call. The other guy hits on her and even is like, do you ever have sex with any of the people who are in your room? And I think, doesn't she say no? And he's like, well, that's a shame.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So he's hitting on her, and then they're both like, just
we can't do anything about
yeah, like this is your fault.
The cops are, and as soon as like, it sucks, and I think we're meant to. I think we're meant to kind of feel this way, but as soon as I see that there's cops getting involved, I'm like, they're not going to give a fuck.
Yeah, for sex workers.
No. And I think it's neat that this movie puts you in the position of a character where you're like, oh my God, fucking take this seriously. You know, like this feels like you're in her shoes. You're like, this is her job. What the fuck? She's our main character and we like her and we want the police to take this seriously. And I think that that's a really cool way to create empathy.
What was the confirmed thing you said?
Oh, that this dialogue is taken from various experiences. She's had her identity stolen. Obviously not like this.
The screenwriter.
The screenwriter, yes. Two, dealing with I think she said she was in a meeting with an executive who, when she was talking about her background as a cam girl, the first thing he asks is like, well, what's the weirdest thing you've ever done? You know,
yeah, the cops
instantly
asked that.
making it weird.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just the idea that she can't talk about that kind of work without people getting fucking weird about it.
Yeah, she can't get help from the police like any other, like, quote unquote, normal citizen. They have to turn it into like, you boobs.
Yeah, because it's the idea of sex workers not being people, or that this is all they do. Like, if someone's a sex worker, then they're always going to want to talk about sex, and they're always going to be like that personality.
And that
always.
they deserve anything that...
Yeah,
because they say on their way out, like, you don't want stuff like this to happen.
Get off the
don't
internet.
go to the internet. Okay, fucker.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is why I love that this movie doesn't make her job as a cam girl the last resort job. I think it's so important that this job, it's like her choice, and this is what she loves doing. And I think it's really important to be rooting for a character that loves doing this work, because I think instead of a character who's like forced into it.
Yeah.
Because then you're realizing this is someone's passion. This is what they like to do. So it's fucked to not take it seriously when that's in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. And I think in real life, people really disregard. I mean, God, I feel like sex workers get the brunt of like every awful legislation ever, especially recently. Even today, literally today, Tumblr announced that no more sexual content on Tumblr.
Yep.
So, R.I.P. Tumblr.
Yeah, good luck, Tumblr.
But yeah,
Okay.
so and I know that the sex work community is like, fuck, because especially Tumblr is like a big home for like queer pornography and stuff that isn't made for just straight dudes, which is like the most mainstream pornography is like made for straight guys. You kind of have to dig for other stuff. Mm-hmm. But Tumblr, I think, was an easy place to find content made by people not targeted towards that demographic.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to understand that, like, yeah, this is someone's livelihood, and who are you to say it's not a real job? Mm-hmm. It's fucked if someone gets their identity stolen and their job is put at risk. That's how she's paying for a house.
It's not lessened at all just because she's a sex worker.
Yeah. We do a weird thing culturally where we feel like we have to be the judge of whether or not someone deserves to make money from their job.
Yeah.
And it's weird because if you don't have a job, everyone tells you to get one, you know, get a job, not a specific job, but like get a job. But then when you get a job, if it's not the right kind of job, then you still don't deserve to be making money.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's all very arbitrary. So I think this is a cool thing to like, yeah, really get you to empathize with someone whose job traditionally people don't think is an acceptable way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
That was a long rant. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, it's on theme. This movie, yeah. While watching it, I was like, this will be a good one for the podcast. You can talk a whole bunch about bunch of themes and stuff. So Fake Her is gonna collab with Baby Girl, the PewDiePie of FGL. Baby Girl.
Baby
Is
girl.
that like what he does? Doesn't he just be like PewDiePie or something like
Oh
that?
yeah, PewDiePie.
And yeah.
Oh, and by the way, just really quick before I forget,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to acknowledge that yes, a lot of sex work is people forced into it.
Oh,
I don't want to discount
yeah, we can't
that.
glamorize.
Yes, I don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to paint the
Sex
picture
work is
that
great.
all sex work is great. Hashtag feminism. Yes, queen. No. It's very complicated.
It is very complicated.
But a big part of why people get forced into it and why a lot of it is really dangerous and scary is because
It's below board.
of the shame. Yes, it's below. It's like we repress it and we pretend it doesn't happen. And so when we demonize people like Lola, it extends to that all of
It's easier for
sex
people
work.
to take advantage of them.
Yes, exactly. And
It's-
it's easier to create black markets and so
Like
it
on
all
dark web.
and dark web. So it's all related. But yeah, I don't mean to paint this really nice picture of what. And I don't think this movie does either. I don't think it makes it look like the best job ever because
Yeah.
it's a horror movie. Some crazy shit's about to go down. We're getting there. Yeah. But I wanted to make that note before I forgot.
So she's watching as Baby Girl. Once she finds out about the collab, she switches to Baby Girl's stream, and Baby Girl is talking about the upcoming collaboration, but also mentions she uses very specific wording, talking about lighting her house on fire so a sexy fireman can save her.
Baby Girl says, I haven't gone fucked in so long. I wish that I wish my house would burn down so a fireman would take pity on me.
Yeah, and Lola's like, wait a minute. And she goes back to that first video of Fake Her when she was playing in the tub, and it turns out that Fake Her said the same exact
thing. Fake Her said literally that same little blurb about wanting her house to burn down so a fireman shows up.
And now the two are going to collab.
Yeah, so
What the fuck's going on?
By the way, I had a friend in college. I always loved this little anecdote. She said that her mom, when she was growing up, would say, always fall asleep with a nice pair of underwear or lingerie on so that just in case your house burns down and the firemen show up, then you look beautiful.
Sure.
The hot fireman shows up.
That's
Ready to
planning
sweep.
ahead.
I know. I just always thought that was so funny.
That's not bad. So now she goes and meets with Barney because he was coming to town, and she meets at the hotel he's staying at. But instead of going straight up to his room, they go to a fake Chili's. I don't think it's actually Chili's. You wrote Chili's.
I wrote, "Hi, welcome to Chili's."
Well,
which is a vine that I enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're old.
Hey, I just explained. You can, or I'm already Tracer to you
true.
today. Okay.
That's true. You did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they go to this fucking Mexican restaurant where it's like the whitest dude ever. That's like Buenos dias.
Yeah, do you want the guacamole queso sorpresa?
And so she's there with Barney, and Barney orders the big boy burrito bowl.
The big boy burrito bowl.
And then after he orders, he turns to Lola and's like, "I love the authenticity here." Oh, it's so funny.
I love it. It's a hilarious scene.
It's so good. I don't know who this waiter is, but he's so funny in the moment that he's in this movie. He's very genuine. So Barney is talking a mile a minute. Barney's all talk. He thinks he's the shit.
Yeah, he's like, I make or break cam girls that get into the top 10 because of me. And earlier we had learned that Princess had actually poached Barney from Baby.
Yeah.
So, Barney went from Baby to Princess to Lola here. And so Lola, knowing that he is familiar with Baby and knowing that this collab is going on, starts to tease out some information about Baby from him, including where she lives.
Yeah, because Barney's visited Baby.
Yeah, so it finds out it's in Georgia. He's like, oh yeah, look, I found this. We took a picture in front of this place called Barney's Hardware. And so she Googles Barney's Hardware, Georgia, which is some great internet detective work. And she finds out the town, and he had mentioned that she was prom queen.
Yeah.
So she looks up the town's prom queen and cycles through until she finds Baby Girl, and she finds her real name, because of it.
Yeah,
It's Hannah, which is interesting because Hannah was also the name used by a fake person in Searching.
Yeah,
which
that was a weird coincidence.
Oh man, Searching was so good.
Searching's real good.
She goes into the girls' bathroom to like search for all this, and while she's in there, and Barney's still at the table with his big boy burrito bowl,
man.
the her channel goes live with her collab
fuck.
with Baby, and he's looking at her on
He's
the
like,
phone.
look at fake Lola, look at women's bathroom, look back at phone.
So yeah, he gets mad and goes there and tries to like yell at her.
This is scary.
It's scary, but I'm also a little confused as to like why she wasn't like someone stole my
Like that's not because that's so hard to prove.
I guess this is the first of scenes where I'm starting to feel like she's not explaining herself well, and
yeah,
I guess
it is frustrating when characters do that. But I also
think,
if I'm in her shoes, one, I'm kind of terrified of Barney because he's clearly super wealthy. Again, maybe mob ties. I just get that vibe.
sure.
I don't really trust him. He's a big dude. Like I'd be physically intimidated by him. So if this happens, I don't know if I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, it's kind of just a weird scene with the motivation because he gets angry right away and goes into the women's bathroom and is like yelling at her. I guess he thinks that she's someone who's scamming him.
Yeah.
It's really weird. The thing that's thrown me off with interactions like this is like clearly it's the same exact girl.
Sure.
Or it's an identical twin.
Yeah.
But like it's not it's the same exact girl. So
I just wonder if she's thinking like he's just gonna be pissed anyway because I'm like out with him and we already have like been at dinner and stuff, and I don't know.
I'm not sure, but it escalates very quickly to the point where like, oh, I gotta get away from him. He's pissed.
Yeah. I also just feel like just like the cops or anyone else she kind of tries explaining this to that isn't another cam girl, I wonder if he just would be like, the fuck are you talking about? Someone stole your identity. Like that's bullshit. Like I don't see him accepting that reason and being like, oh, I understand.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. She's able to get away from him narrowly. At one point, he is like dragging her out of the bathroom and saying that she's like his drunk wife.
He grabs her and like has his hand over her mouth. It's scary. He's scary.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Is he's a scary dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he pretends like, oh, my wife is sick, so I'm
taking her home. Yeah.
But then she bites his hand. And
and she gets away, and we see that she has like a taser in her car.
Mm-hmm.
But is that last we see of Barney? I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So she goes and talks to her mom, right? She goes to her mom's house and someone spray painted whorehouse on the side of it.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, dude. Before that, Lola Googles baby.
Like her real name.
Real name, Hannah. She finds this girl's obituary.
Yeah. So Hannah had died. And this is another thing where, like, I don't think anything really comes of it. And I think that the only purpose is to show that, like, oh, that's not her.
It's definitely not her because she's dead. Yeah. I did think that was going to be a runner too.
Yeah, we thought this was going to come back
girls are going
up.
to get killed off. Not a great business model though, if we're talking about the person or people who are doing this.
Which we'll also get into.
Yeah. So that she also sees it's the live stream with Baby and fake Lola.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This part is like genuinely really creepy.
Because she's at home in her home, and she's in like her real bedroom, not like the cam room, and she's watching this live stream with Baby and fake her, and they're in her house, and they're like, we're gonna go through our house and go to my real bedroom.
Yeah.
And so she's like looking at her door.
Yeah, like are they about to come into like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, but
and
no.
The creepiest thing is they open the door and they go into fake Lola's room, and real Lola's not in there. They're in a completely different place. It's a complete replica of Lola's house with moving boxes and everything.
Yeah.
And then fake Lola is like grabs a picture, and I think Baby's like, oh, who's that? He's cute. And she's like, oh, it's just my brother. And then she holds up the picture and it is her brother.
Yeah, she's like, little Jordy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird.
That's when she just like has a total
Oh, that's when she busts her laptop.
She breaks her
open.
laptop.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's when she goes to visit her mom, and
where someone spray painted
whorehouse
whorehouse
is spray
on the
painted
house
on the
'cause people
side of her
suck.
house. And The mom. The mom is so funny because you think she's gonna be all weird about it, but she's clearly uncomfortable. She's like, you know what? No, like you're really good at what you do. I watched some of it. You are so confident and good. I'm down. And she's like, I'm down with like female empowerment.
Yeah, she says that. She was like, I wish everyone could see you the way you are there because you're so confident and like cool on there.
Mm-hmm. So after that, Alice has to go to, this is such a nightmare. Alice has to go to Lola, I'm sorry. Lola has to go to the public library now because she smashed her laptop and she has to go to all these fucking porn sites at the library to do more research on Hannah, aka Baby. So.
Oh, but I will say because she's talking to her mom and she's like, you watched me last night? That's not me. Like that. And she doesn't explain
Oh, that's right.
herself.
There is a whole thing where she's like, that isn't me.
And
then
her
the mom's like, no, I know.
I get it.
I get it. Like you're putting on a show. It's a persona. And she's like, no, it literally isn't
and
me.
it's another scene where I'm like, just explain. It's your mom. I understand not trusting Tinker or Barney. Tell your mom what's happening.
Sure.
There's no reason not to. So I have some third act issues with this script, but whatever.
Yeah. So that's when she goes to the public library to do more research, which involves just going on all these campsites and
mute the computer.
The speakers are on accidentally at one point. Oh man, this whole scene made me tense. I'm like, when is she gonna get kicked out of the library?
Yeah,
which she doesn't. She doesn't get caught. Besides, moans coming out of the speakers.
Yeah, just some guy like looks over his shoulder like, what the fuck? But she sees that on Baby's friend list, Tinker Boy is like her top friend. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, oh fuck, Tinker might be involved here.
Yeah, and she looks at other girls that Baby has cammed with recently, and Tinker is all of their top friend.
So she goes to the hotel he's staying at, which is a motel. It is not the hotel that Barney's staying at, which is real elegant.
It's a motel.
Yeah, and he's
So
it's
she
a
goes
dark
in,
room. It probably smells like cum in there.
Ew. Oh,
you know it does. Cum and balls.
It does. Oh, it's so gross. She has a taser hidden in like her pants. So
she does have that.
He says some shit about like being her life helper.
It brought them together.
Yeah, like this all brought us together. Because she this is when she comes clean about like that girl's not me.
Yeah, she does explain herself here.
Mm-hmm. Which I wonder why. I think maybe she just doesn't explain it to anyone else because I think Tinker maybe just seems more involved with the cam girl world and would have a better understanding of it. And also she thinks that he's responsible, probably. It's why she brought the taser.
But then he's like, you should stay here. And she like does fall asleep because it cuts to her like waking up. And I'm like, why did she fall asleep there? She's also like drinking tea that he makes for her. I'm like, no, be smarter. Don't do that.
Sure.
It's weird that I guess she just needed to fall asleep because she wakes up and he's in the bathroom masturbating to fake her. Yeah, in like a private chat with her too, like in the kind that he had been with her earlier. And so, he is crying and is like, no, I'm sorry. And then it's like, this is when we get our explanation of what's happening. And for me, it's very unsatisfying.
Interesting. I think I disagree.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because, okay, I think we can both agree that up until now, at least, it's very creepy.
Yes.
All when she like is like, hi, teapot, whoa.
Yeah.
Orange, oh shit. The fucking house and the room, crazy creepy. And I'm like, how does this get explained that there's this exact doppelganger on camera, live, interacting with her? Who the fuck is it? So he says that it is copying everything it can find of her online, and it like makes a copy of her, like a digitally created copy of her. It's not a real person, and so for me, this kind of, the whole time I'm like, is this a supernatural thing? Like, is this a real life imitator? What's going on? And I guess it's kind of like the dark web thing where like they're walking around and being glitches on camera, which some people have said is possible. I don't know if it is, but for me, it's like this doesn't seem like it seems so far-fetched that it's hard for me to accept.
Like a stitch together. I don't know, dude. I feel like it's totally possible.
What I would believe more likely is if it was a human actor with
her
their
face
digitally put on them, because that I think is within a few years of technology.
Oh, people have already. There was a whole thing. I don't know if it was
Which
this
has
year.
terrifying implications.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the thing. There was a subreddit. I forget what it was called. It had like a weird name, but it was porn with celebrities' faces stitched on, and it was a whole to do when that got banned from Reddit because that's like not legal.
Like is it not? Like that's
it's a
whole
weird
quandary.
So Reddit was like, all right, we're getting rid of this, but that's a whole thing where you can fake.
And like think about the political implications of that.
Oh yeah.
You know, you fucking make a video of your political opponent
saying stuff,
hitting someone. Like
there
what
was
the fuck?
that like video that it was like a couple years ago, but that video of like a fake Obama saying stuff. Do you remember that?
I remember him kicking down that door after.
Oh yeah. No, it was like him. It was a digitally recreated Obama, and it just was like it looked real.
No, and that's like
that's
I
why
don't know
I don't
how we
think
even deal
this
with that
scenario is. I'm like,
but that's what I wish
buy
it had been, because I'd be like, oh, okay, so it's this technology that we know is coming, it's here now, and it's fucking with their life. Instead, they're like, it's this digitally. Well, everything is digital.
I don't know, because they have hours and hours and hours of footage. That's why it's all old quote unquote streams, like the kiddie pool thing.
Yeah, but the live interaction, I don't know. It just felt a little deflated to me because it felt so far-fetched. I was like,
I was reading something. I was reading an interview with I want to say the writer, where they talked about the ending of this and this whole aspect of it. And I guess in a bunch of older drafts, they did have a thing where she legit goes somewhere and it ends up in a server room. Like it's a thing. She finds the play, but they said it just wasn't. It felt like it just got too
explaining.
Yeah, and they were like, I think they ultimately made the choice that they didn't want this to be a sci-fi. They wanted this to be about her.
Yeah.
And her dealing with this versus like the mystery of what it is. So I think it's just a matter of what you want from this.
Yeah, that makes
maybe.
sense.
I think they were like, you know what? That's not the point we're trying to make. The point is it's her identity got stolen, and that's.
Yeah, because my other complaint is that he's just like, it happens. Like we don't know who's behind it. If it's a person, a group. If it's just a virus, like a digital creation. So that just kind of bugs me. It feels like they came up with a very cool, creepy concept that they just couldn't figure out a good way to explain, so they just kind of don't. And so that's probably my biggest problem with this movie, is because throughout the whole first 2 acts, I'm like, what is fucking going on? And then we find out we don't really, like, we kind of find out. And I'm like,
I get that, like, wanting to know a little bit more about.
Yeah, it's giving me some Lost vibes.
I wanted to know more about, like, how does he know that girls are gonna get copied, and why is he friends with all of them on?
Yeah, because he's like, I just like noticed a pattern, and I could kind of tell which girls it was going to choose.
That's
next.
what I wanted to know more about. Is like, how does that happen?
Yeah, like, what are you looking for? What kind of things is informing you of that? So, because he was like, I knew it was going to come after you next.
And what is it specifically drawing from? Because how would it have the picture of her brother? Like, does it hack all your personal information and get to, like, your Facebook so it's able to, like...
Yeah, and, like, that you know, starting to get a little Black Mirror-ish, but Black Mirror's great.
Yeah, I think maybe that was part of the issue they ran into as well, where it's like, okay, this is starting to be about the horror of the technology versus the horror of her having this experience.
Yeah, I can see the distinction for sure. Yeah, I still enjoy the movie. But also Tinker he's not in on it. He's just kind of a pathetic guy who like lets it happen, and
cozies up to all the fake.
Because he like works for him. Cool. Now I have Lola saying she loves me and shit.
Yeah, that's true. Because
Yeah.
all the fake, they can break their rules and there's no consequences.
She ends up tasing him.
She does.
I think when she still thinks that he's in on it.
Yeah.
But then she goes in the bathroom where the cam is still up, like the laptop's still open, and she sits down, and fake her is like, "Oh, hi, are you Tinker's girlfriend?"
Yeah, so she doesn't recognize
Yeah,
her.
you're pretty. Like, she doesn't recognize her, and it's fucking weird.
It's so, it's so creepy. So she leaves the motel. She goes back to her place. She sets up in her studio, her cam studio. You have thoughts about this scene?
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked this scene. So she sets up a stream, and what she does is she puts her giant monitor like behind her.
Her big TV.
Her big TV is behind her. I actually used the image of this setup as the header in the podcast.
Oh, cool.
So you can look
So
and
it's
kind
that.
of see.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's that scene. And so she's looking into a mirror
She has a big vanity.
in front of her. So what it does is when she starts streaming, it's like an infinite series of her because it's like a mirror going into the camera, but like, so it's just a ton of hers. So she goes into Lola's stream and requests a private chat with her by tipping her a giant amount. Fake Lola. Lola goes into fake Lola's stream. Fake Lola private messages her and they go live. And so it's just this like weird, like refracted, like fake her and real her, just like all these copies of themselves.
Yeah.
And fake Lola just doesn't recognize that she's looking at herself. And
then she has fake Lola like share their private stream with the room.
So she's like, "What do you want? What do you want? Like you're in a like, what do you want me to do?" And then she tips her and is like, I want to share. Like I like being public. It's what turns me on. So I want you to share our private chat with your stream." So then fake Lola does, and so then everyone in this chat is like, "Whoa, there's two Lolas! What the fuck?"
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, it's Lola and Teapot," because that's the name that she's under.
Yep,
It's like
so
Lola versus Teapot.
Lola versus Teapot. And they all think this is another crazy Lola bit because
Yeah.
Lola does like crazy stunts. So then Lola says, "I want to play Monkey See, Monkey Do." And what happens is, like one of them will like blow a kiss, and so the other one does. And so real Lola starts to hurt herself. She literally like, it sucks to watch. It's gross. She just slams her face down on the table of her vanity and her nose is all fucked
Her
up.
nose is fucked up.
And fake Lola does the exact same thing. And what happens is when she takes her face up, it like glitches out for a second and then it comes back and she has the same injury that real Lola has. So real Lola does it again. Fake Lola looks all fucked up. And then the final thing that Lola has fake Lola do is go repeat after me. "Hey boys, want to see something cool? You stole my face and now I'm going to get it back." And that's when she does like the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's when, or I think she says that before they smash
Yeah.
their faces. What?
Yeah.
I had the order of events mixed up. I'm sorry.
Just the scene, it's a little, I guess I'm not quite sure why.
So okay. So what happens at the end is real Lola says,
well, what's happening is they're having the room vote on who does
"That's
it better.
right." Okay.
Yeah.
So who did it better? And they all vote Teapot.
And the winner of the room, the winner of the vote gets to make the other one do something.
Yeah.
So like with the kiss blowing, they're all like, "Oh, Lola's better. Teapot, you suck."
Yes, that's right.
But with the face smashing, because real Lola's fucking doing it, they're all like, "Teapot, Teapot, Teapot."
Yeah,
So
Teapot did
Teapot
it.
wins that vote.
Yeah.
And so real Lola is like, "Okay, for my prize, give me the password of your account."
Yep. And fake Lola goes, "Okay."
Yeah, like she
And
does,
just does it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's able to log back into her account. She just goes in and deletes the whole Lola account, so she's not Lola anymore.
Yeah, and she's like about to pass out while she does
Yeah,
it. So
she's
it's
just
like,
her nose is all
she's like
fucked
going
up.
at her nose. I can't stress this enough. Her nose
It's
is
fucked.
fuck. There's like a chunk missing.
so
It's so gross.
So the last scene is we're sometime in the future. Her nose has healed. It's crooked, but it's healed. her mom does her makeup for her, and she's doing it for her cam. Like, she knows she's going to stream.
Yeah, now she has a wig, or she dyed her hair?
She's wearing a wig, yeah.
Okay, because, now she has long blonde
so
hair.
it's a sweet moment of, like, her mom, like, knows what she's doing, and she does her makeup for, like, her first day on this new account. So she starts a new account as a new person, new hair, and that's it. She, like, goes back to...
Yeah, and her rank is, like, 50,000
Yeah, her rank is, like, in the 100,000s.
But, yeah, I love that the message isn't ultimately, like... And that's why you don't be a cam girl. It's instead like at the end, she deleted the fake Lola account and is like, well, getting back on that horse, getting back on that. Was it a Sibian?
The Sibian?
Yeah, getting back on that Sibian and riding.
Oh man, yeah. So I think you thought the kind of
resolution,
the monkey see monkey do kind of. The way I interpreted it is like you can't beat a real person, and the fact that she, then after that, on top of everything, deletes the Lola account really reinforces that she isn't Lola, she's Alice. Like, she is a person outside of this account, and that fake Lola isn't. And the fact that she won that by like actually fucking up her face instead of this fake thing, I think is there to prove like, yeah, it's that like human connection is what makes like the work that she does real and legitimate.
Yeah.
And that like, sure, you can get to the top 10 of this website by breaking all of your rules and by putting in a series of fucking bots that break all the rules and do whatever anyone wants them to. But like, that's not what it is about for her. We don't see that she's sad when she starts back off at 100-some thousand. She could have just taken back over the Lola account easily. She got the password back and she could have just pretended this was all like a thing, but she doesn't, because that account stopped being her project, you know?
Definitely. It's a very good movie thematically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I
can totally see where your issues with it are.
Mm-hmm. And they're, doesn't mean I didn't like it. You can point out flaws in movies you like. I really like this movie. It's great. Madeline Brewer is fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's really, really good. Yeah. Big recommend. And yeah, the nice thing is it's on Netflix, so it's easy to find. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
I'm worried we're running long.
A little bit, but whatever. It's a movie review. And
That's
people should check it out. It's got boobs. Go check it out.
It's got boobs. Yeah. Boobs and glitter.
Lots of glitter.
Lots of glitter. I think I have an idea for next week. We'll see. I might do something silly and fun.
Do we have 2 episodes ahead of us before a break for the holidays?
This and then 2 more. We're taking holidays off.
Yeah. Okay. So just a heads up, we will be taking the week of Christmas and New Year's off.
Yeah.
we
Also,
got family
the
stuff.
merch store will be back up soon. I have the site under maintenance. So if you are waiting for stuff, and I didn't know it would do this, because like I run the store through Shopify, and I put the store under maintenance so I could like rearrange it and do stuff. And we're going to have some new stuff in there.
Yeah.
But when I put it under maintenance, I didn't realize that if people wanted to track their merchandise, it gives them an error page. So people have been emailing me like, where's my stuff?
Oh, no.
I'm like, I promise it's in the mail. I just like, I don't have control over that. And it didn't say it was going to do that.
Yeah.
So your stuff's in the
You'll
mail.
get your stuff.
You'll get your stuff. And if it doesn't show up, email me. I'll fix it.
We'll make it good. Don't worry.
Yeah. But
We'll
yeah,
hook
we'll
you
be
up.
back up anytime. Probably this week.
Yeah. So you do have an idea for next week?
Yes.
And then-
if I can make it work.
Okay. And
That's the
then
thing,
we'll
is
have,
it might end up being more of a project than I
Usually
thought it
is.
would be. Yeah, that's what happens when I come up with like crazy ideas. It's a game, I'll say.
Oh, fun.
So that's what happens when I come up with ideas for games, is they end up getting way more complicated than I think they're gonna be. But
So that's what you have to look forward to: a game and another movie review.
Yes.
And that'll be it for the Dead Meat
and
Pod.
possibly
2018.
maybe an interview taking the place of a review.
Oh, okay.
depending.
That might happen.
It might happen. I don't
Cool.
know. Everything is kind of up in the air right now.
You'll see. Be sure to follow Dead Meat on social media at Dead Meat James on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Carebecc, CareBecc, on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com, except if you're listening to this when this episode came out, the store is under maintenance. But if it's later, it's probably back up.
Yeah. And if not, you can always email deadmeatpod@gmail.com with anything about that or just whatever in general. Mm-hmm. Give us movies to watch or whatever. It's fun stuff. So until next week, I'm James.
I'm Chelsea.
And this has been the Dead Meat Podcast.